Hi, so this is the second video that we're doing about computer hardware, and this time we're still on the topic of storage, and this is the second part. So in the first part we discussed input and output devices and a bit about how hard drives work and magnetic storage. Now in storage part 2, what I want to talk about is optical storage, and also I want to talk about solid state storage. Right, state. I could spell, it would make it even better. Right, so what we're going to talk about today is these two main areas. Now, optical storage is our first area. Now, optical storage is to do with light. Okay, if you want to think about optics are your eyes, and if you think about that, that has a lot to do with light. Now, optical storage is CD-ROMs. And if you think about how CD-ROMs work, if you ever look at a CD-ROM drive, it will say danger lasers. Okay, now what CD-ROMs do is they shine a laser onto the CD itself, and that will detect whether the information is there. Now, how it works. Now, this is probably a little bit more detail than you need, but if you imagine a CD-ROM works like this. Actually, it doesn't work like this. I'll go through this in a second. If you can look at this. Now, when a CD is recorded, what the laser does, is it burns dark and light. So when you want to record, when you burn a CD, it's burning ones and zeros into the. So as I was saying, it burns dark patches onto the CD. Now these, if you imagine this is microscopic. So this is, you wouldn't be able to tell. Don't go looking at CD-ROM trying to find the little dark dots. But it burns those into the CD, and by doing that, it allows it to read. And obviously you've got light patches, which are classed as ones, dark patches, which are classed as zeros. If you understand the idea of binary, 1 0 1 0 1 0, and as you can see, it forms a binary pattern, and that's how CD-ROMs work. Now, advantages. Now, advantages of CD-ROMs are that, well, they are cheap and cheerful. We like this because it's brilliant. A CD-ROM itself will hold approximately, because I can't remember the exact number, I think it's about 600 to 700 megabytes. Now that's quite good if you think that a CD would probably cost you in the region of about 12p. That's pretty good. Now if you want to think about DVD-ROMs, they can hold 4.5 gigabytes. And that's a DVD. And a DVD itself, that'll probably cost you a little bit more, maybe 60p. Now if you think about what we were talking about the other lesson, where you were buying a tape drive for about 20 quid, you know, there's a big difference. And even if you're looking now where we talk about Blu-rays I think are in the region of about 12 gigabytes. So we're getting even bigger, and again, they are still relatively cheap. Disadvantage: if you've got a CD rewriter, it won't last forever. CD rewritables have a limited number of burns, so that is a disadvantage. And to burn to a CD, it's kind of a once-only thing, okay? To burn to a CD, it's not the thing you would do every single lesson, and it's time-consuming. So it's not like you can just put everything on a CD every single lesson and take it home. It's not that way inclined. It's more used for a once-only burn, done, happy, finished. Or maybe I want to do it once in a while. Now, the other one we're going to talk about is solid state. Now, solid state are the future, and they are awesome. Okay? Solid state are blisteringly flat. Okay, this is the what I call the butter zone. This is the best way, fastest storage that you can buy. Okay, if you imagine how fast a memory stick can work, then you're starting to move into solid state storage. Now what you can buy is also solid state hard drives. Okay, and solid state hard drives. Now if you want to put this into a comparison, standard hard drive will probably take you about 1 min 30 seconds to boot up. That'll get you into Windows. Now if you want to put something like a solid state comparison to it, you can probably call that 30 seconds. That's how fast solid state works. Now solid state is a bit different, and again you don't really need to know this for the exam, but it's just so you understand. What solid state does is it has like 2 plates, and what they do is they pass a positive charge. I'm going to write pos charge between the plates. And by passing that positive charge between the plates, it then magnetizes it, and then gives you that charge. And that way, you're giving it that data. Now, they are then stored and on a microchip. Here, there's my microchip. It's not just a bad spider. Okay, and there's my microchip. And if you imagine a solid state drive, you've got lots and lots of them. Now, if you want to see this working in action, you could open a memory stick, because a memory stick usually has one of these. Now, solid states have lots of them. Okay. There are other methods of carrying things around. There are things like SD cards, and there are floppy disks. If you ever see a floppy disk now, then obviously we have failed in technology, because they are very, very old and very, very slow, and they only used to ever hold 1.3 megabytes, which is terrible. So if you ever see one of these around nowadays, they're fairly redundant. SD cards, they're coming up, and they're the future, because they are very, very small, very, very fast, and they use some of this solid state technology. They're not quite the same, but you have to be aware that as a storage device, solid states, they're portable, or SD cards, sorry. They're portable, they are fast, and again, they're not memory stick cheap, but they are quite cheap. There are now, you can get 256 gigabyte SD cards if you were looking for them. So you can get them to a fairly decent thing. Obviously, mem sticks now are the most portable version of storage. Again, they have their advantages too. They are obviously very fast. They are very, very cheap. And if you're looking for a cheap portable device, then memory sticks are your way. Solid state, the disadvantage is the cost. A solid state drive is very, very expensive. If you try to upgrade to a solid state drive, you're paying extra for it, and it does tend to cost. I hope that clears up quite a few things. I think I've covered everything in the hardware section for storage, and hopefully that answers all your questions.